What if I told you the true innovation in smartphones isn't in flashy hardware anymore, but in software so smart, it literally gives your phone a second brain? Forget the spec sheets. The real story of the new OnePlus 15 isn't just about its design, but about an operating system that's quietly changing how we interact with our devices forever. OnePlus is on a fascinating journey right now, and while there's been plenty of debate about the new OnePlus 15's hardware, we need to talk about where this phone truly shines. It's software. I've spent a week with Android 16-based OxygenOS 16, and honestly, it's the most refined and intelligent experience I've had on an Android phone. It feels like OnePlus truly stitched all the pieces together, and the result is frankly astonishing. You know that feeling. You're browsing, you capture a screenshot, copy some text, save a bookmark, or send a link to yourself on Slack. By the end of the day, all those important nuggets of information you want to revisit are scattered across your digital life. It's a frustrating pain point, a discipline problem for sure, but also a fundamental lack of a universal memory vault. Well, OxygenOS 16 steps in with a brilliant solution called MindSpace. It all starts with the new dedicated plus key on the left edge of the OnePlus 15. Think of it like the action button on an iPhone, but with a singular, incredibly powerful purpose. Set it up as your MindSpace key, and with a single click, it captures whatever is on your screen. But this isn't just a screenshot, it's a smart screenshot. The built-in AI immediately analyzes the content, pulling out relevant information. If it's a web page, it saves the URL, the headline, and creates a brief summary, then saves it as a digital note card in MindSpace. This AI-generated description is crucial, making the search system dramatically easier. For example, I clicked a selfie a few days ago and put it in MindSpace. The AI quickly identified traits like an arm tattoo, a beanie, glasses, and a peace sign posture. If I want to revisit that image, I don't scroll through a long list of memories. Instead, I perform a contextual search with fragments I remember, like beanie or tattoo, and the AI surfaces it instantly. Imagine its utility for travel planning or saving articles for later reading. MindSpace is your home for all digital memories. A double click on the plus key lands you there, where you can create custom groups or let the system auto-categorize your memories. It's wonderfully intuitive. But here's where things get really interesting: the Gemini integration. OnePlus didn't stop at its own intelligence. It integrated Google's Gemini directly with MindSpace. You can ask incredibly contextual questions directly related to your saved memories. For example, you can ask Gemini questions like, "Hey, there's a picture of the Statesman House in MindSpace. Tell me something about its history." Or, "There's a picture of a large orange flower in MindSpace. Identify the species and check if I can find it in a local store in Shillong." Gemini truly takes things to the next level because, when activated for MindSpace, it pulls relevant information from the entire Google ecosystem, search, maps, and its own vast cache of training knowledge. It's like giving your memory vault access to the world's most comprehensive library. MindSpace also does a lot more. A long press on the plus key instantly records a voice note. The AI transcribes it, contextually saves it with an appropriate title, and adds relevant hashtags for search. I recorded this brief voice note. "I am in the lower Nungrao region of Shillong. Remind me to ask a local friend to find nearby libraries." Once saved in MindSpace, the AI not only transcribed and labeled it with appropriate hashtags, which helps with search, but also created an events reminder card for it. With a single tap, I saved it as an alert to my local reminders list. It's astoundingly useful, incredibly convenient. Instead of a steep learning curve, you just keep running into utilitarian surprises in MindSpace. Overall, this feels like the best implementation of AI I've seen on a phone so far, and the Gemini integration is simply the cherry on top. Beyond the AI smarts, OxygenOS 16 just feels incredibly polished. The first thing that struck me during setup was the sheer UI fluidity. Every gesture feels buttery smooth. Animations are quicker, and visual transitions are seamless. It definitely feels better than the iPhone 17 Pro I'm currently pushing as my second device. But beyond the snappy interactions, there's a deep layer of customization at your fingertips. Let's begin with the lock screen, which now lets you set motion photos and videos as wallpaper, complete with depth effects for the clock widget and other items. There's a whole bunch of Flux themes with scalable full-screen digital clocks, the kind you see on iOS 26. But in OxygenOS 16, you find a lot more styles to pick from. Some of these even push a video depth effect for moving objects behind the clock, and these, in particular, look stunning. There are plenty of always-on display styles to pick from, both still and animated. Font and icon adjustments are all part of the parcel. The icons are my favorite part of OxygenOS 16. OnePlus made them scalable, meaning you can stretch them to look like a vertical or horizontal bar, or even a large block with 4 buttons. When you scale an app's icon, you can add quick action shortcuts. With Gmail, for example, I added a dedicated shortcut that takes me straight to the Composer page, while the default icon lands me on the inbox view. It's like transforming a simple icon into a mini control center. For the app drawer, OnePlus added a new categories section that is just a side swipe away. Here, apps automatically group into categories for quicker access. And finally, the shelf, home to widgets, now lands support for more types of apps and utilities. And here's my favorite part. You can now bump the OnePlus 15 against an iPhone to share files, just like NameDrop. This is unprecedented and supremely useful as well. There's also a remote Mac access system bundled as part of the O+ Connect app ecosystem. I recently tried it on a foldable phone and loved it. Overall, OxygenOS 16 feels like the biggest refinement to the OnePlus smartphone experience. It impresses at the surface level with its sheer fluidity, adds meaningful customization perks, and truly taps into the potential of AI for meaningful work. It's not just a faster phone, it's a smarter companion. So, what does a phone that truly thinks like you do mean for the future of mobile tech? We'll have more to share in our full review of the phone coming soon, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for that.